Welcome to All Gen Gamers, a podcast for people in video games of all generations. Starring Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, and Jason Heine.
Okay, I'll take us in and welcome to episode 22 of All Gen Gamers. I am one of your hosts, Johnny Millennium of the Happy Console Gamer Show, and we're joined by the EMU Review, Jason Heine. How are you doing, Jason? Wow, I thought you were underwater for a second there.
Sounds like the squid or something. What the hell?
No.
The whale and the squid now.
Oh, God, for fuck's sake, my phone's ringing. You hear that? I think it's the whales phoning me up from Pete's house.
Johnny!
Exactly. And continuing on, we got Gamester81. How you doing, John?
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh, man.
Oh, don't tell me what to do. Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah, awesome. And we're here and then with Pete Dorr as well. And it's really strange, but Pete has a sore throat. I don't know if it's that from kissing the whale too much. What's going on with that?
It's contagious.
It's contagious, man. You guys were probably in all Christmas time, cozied up, you know, the hot rays of the television screen next to you both. And yeah, things can happen. How you doing, Pete?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to contemplate my relationship with Final Fantasy XIV.
Well, that's what we all got to get into here. There's a lot to talk about. It's after Christmas. I think, did you guys have a good Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It went by way too fast.
Yeah.
But I had to go in for sure.
Totally. I hear. Some of you guys had like a week. Pete's still on his time off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. He's doing walkthroughs of Final Fantasy XIV online now. He's got a bit of time, you know, type of thing. But yeah, it was really good. So I just thought, like, maybe we should just go around and talk about everything that happened at Christmas and all of the cool games or games that we've been playing. So why don't we start with...
Before we do that, though, we should talk about the contest.
Oh, I like that idea. Why don't you tell them about the contest?
We want to thank anybody that listened to the end of our last episode where we revealed that we were doing a contest where we're going to be giving away a copy of Endless Ocean Blue World for the Wii. That's going to be signed by the four of us and Robman, as well as the whale. And the way that people are going to win this copy of the game is we mentioned that you have to go and leave us a video response on our Facebook page. Don't forget to leave it as a response on our Facebook page. If you just search for All Gen Gamers, we'll come up on there. By January 31st, we'll decide who we want to give it to. You just got to tell us why we should send you the game. And it's as simple as that. And we definitely want to thank all the people. We have a couple of submissions so far. I forget the exact number, but quite a bit. And we want to thank all the people that sent us those video responses so far. They were all really great. And this is definitely going to be pretty hard to pick who we send the game to.
Yeah. Oh, some of the responses have been fantastic.
Yeah, I think we have like 5 and they're all really, really good.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for sending them so far. Like, yeah, we've definitely been watching them and we've really been blown away by them. So, yeah.
The contest is over January 31st, 2011. Did you mention that already?
Yep.
Okay. Shows you how much I'm listening.
Yeah, so send us in more video responses. You know, the fewer, I guess the better for us. Makes it a little easier for us to choose who wins it, you know, because we don't want 1,000 of them coming in. Definitely not. But we do appreciate anybody that sends us a video for that. It could be as short or as long as you want. It doesn't have to be a 15-minute epic. It could be 30 seconds, you know, whatever it takes to explain it.
You know, I can say right now, it's already going to be a hard choice, isn't it? We're really going to have to really sit and think about it when it's done.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So, anyways, geez, so what have we all been playing? Gamester, why don't you tell us what you've been playing?
Well, I got, for Christmas, I got a couple cool things. Finally got a Xbox 360 Slim with Kinect bundle, and I got the sporting game with that. So I have the adventures that came with it and the sporting game. And I'll tell you, first impressions of Kinect, it's a really fun game to play with the family. I went over to my parents' place for Christmas and whipped it out and played with my dad, and he caught on right away. My mom caught on right away. Neither of them are really huge gamers. I mean, my dad was more of an Atari age kind of guy, but he caught on. They love it. So if you're looking for some family fun games, pretty interesting kind of, it took a while to get used to just the, you know, using your hands to control everything and syncing everything up. The one drawback about the Kinect I don't like is you need like freaking so much space to play the thing. I had to move my couch.
Yeah.
I mean, you need like 10 feet to play this thing. So if you have some tight quarters, Pete, I don't know how you're gonna be able to play this.
I don't think I ever will be, honestly. I mean, unless
you need an addition to the Pete's game room. You need another addition out there, another room added on or something.
Yeah,
Unless I like angle my TV and like sort of play it. I don't know. That would be weird though, because you got to like run back and forth, right? It's not just like front and back. It's like left and right
like,
too.
Yeah, I mean, volleyball is cool because you can like, you have to spike it and jump up, and I had a fan in my ceiling and hit my hand on the fan a couple times. And I mean, you definitely need some space for sure. it was either between like, I was either gonna get the sports game or the Dance Central. I ended up getting the sports game, but I'll probably end up getting the Dance Central soon. Maybe I'll put up on Blip me dancing to that. I don't know. We'll see. But
it's funny, Gamester. You're talking about spiking the ball or something in the game.
Yeah.
One of my friends at work, he comes in and his hand is all bandaged up, and I'm like, "What happened to your hand?" He's like, "Oh, I don't really want to talk about it." I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, the Kinect." I'm like, "What do you mean the Kinect?" And he went up to do a spike and he hit the ceiling and totally scraped his hand.
I could totally see that how that would happen for sure. Because the cool thing is though, when you're playing the game, like when you're playing the sports game, or you're playing ping pong, or you're playing volleyball or bowling, it will actually take video of you, and when like you're done with the game, it will show you the highlights, and it will show you the video of you just messing around, look like an idiot, right?
Yeah. And
you can actually share that with your friends, and you can share it online, and it's pretty cool. So it's a kind of a unique concept. Definitely very unique. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting how they do like, more serious hardcore games for the Kinect, like first person shooters, or how that's going to work. But and then again, when the Wii came out, we were saying the same thing. How is Nintendo going to make the games work for the Wii motion control? And look at, there's thousands of games. I don't know how many games for that system, but interesting. That was my biggest purchase, biggest gift.
Microsoft came out and said that 2011 will be the year of the Kinect.
Really?
So like right now it's just an initial into it, but maybe we'll get some really killer apps. I'm not against the Kinect in any way, so I'd love to see some killer apps come in 2011. That'd be awesome.
I think it would be cool. I mean, it's very cool using your hands and your feet, and it's very, very accurate, amazingly enough. So a couple times my dog got into the picture and threw things off. But it's all good. So it was, that was definitely excited to get that. A couple games my brother got me. He got me Dirt 2, which is a really fun game. A game I probably wouldn't have picked up on my own, and I'm really glad he got it to me. But have you guys played Dirt 2 or Dirt 1?
No, I like the first Dirt though. I played that. That was pretty good.
I've played a Gamester.
Okay, so I've been playing Gran Turismo 5 quite a bit, and this game controls nothing like that. So, like, it took me the learning curve to this game. It took me a while, slip sliding everywhere, trying to do the cockpit view, and I just wasn't really getting it. But eventually caught on. A really fun game. I love the soundtrack. Graphics are great. Definitely a kind of unique racer. I definitely recommend getting Dirt 2. Jason, what are your thoughts about Dirt?
Yeah, no, it's a great racer. It's you have to go in there knowing what you're going into. It's like you're on ice. There's a huge learning curve to it, but that's that style of game. It's not a Gran Turismo. It's not a arcadey type racer. It's like a simulation rally type of a. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, they have like the X Games you can join, and there's like tournaments you can join. It's pretty fun. So you can unlock cars, and you obviously get money. You can purchase cars similar to Gran Turismo to that regard, and you travel all over the world, from Japan to Croatia to wherever. So that was really cool. I've been playing that a lot. The other game my brother got me was the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Oh, nice.
And I haven't been able to play that much. I've kind of been waiting to sit down and play when I have more time, but I'm definitely excited about that too. So that was some couple good games for my brother. Appreciate that. And I'm trying to think what else. Man, I've been playing so many games. I'm going to ramble on. let's
all
move
good.
on.
I think we've been playing a lot of games, so it's good to talk about all this. Yeah.
No, for sure. So on the Xbox 360, I've been, I'm finally on Xbox Live, and I purchased the X-Men Arcade.
Oh, yes.
That line. That's a fun one. I really like that. I don't like the fact that you can't change like characters between the game. That's lame to me. So you start off as you start off as Wolverine and you die. You can't change your characters.
But we should mention the three of us, Johnny, myself, and John. We downloaded that and we were playing it on Xbox Live Arcade. And at first we were all at least I was excited. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, X-Men. And then it's like, after we all started playing it, we were kind of like, I think we almost just, I guess can you guys agree with almost wasted $10? I mean, it wasn't really a waste, but it was fun for 15, 20 minutes. And then we were like, okay, maybe that was better left to the arcade,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a button masher, right? That's all it is. It's a pure money stealing type of game. That's all. So it stole our money. It did what it was supposed to do. So therefore the game is successful.
Yeah, and it's fun getting 6 people online and playing at one time. There's freaking so many enemies, though.
Yeah.
When you get 6 people playing at one time, you have like 30 guys on one. It's pretty cool, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily a waste of $10. I liked it for nostalgic reasons, personally. I played again. I played again last night with Jason online. We played it a little while. I don't know if it would necessarily. It's a waste. Well, Jason, what do you think about the game?
Well, I don't think it's a waste. No.
Maybe a little overpriced. Maybe $5.
Yeah, a little, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Maybe 400 points would have been good price for it. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Been playing Bomberman Battle Fest with you guys online.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's a fun, kind of interesting Bomberman game. I kind of, I know we'll talk about this more, but I wish it was more top-down perspective.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it.
Just talk about it. Yeah, I guess Pete said that in the original Bomberman Online, that it did have a complete overhead view. And we were looking for an overhead view in this one, a way to toggle it. And there was no way to do it. And we're still...
Really
so
disappointing.
Pete, we never found anything through that forum. Did they ever say
There's
anything?
no overhead. And you played a lot of Super Bomberman, and I played the original Bomberman Live. Is actually when I did my top 50 Xbox Live Arcade game list. That was my number one, and
Yeah.
I probably played over 100 hours on the original Xbox Live Bomberman. So I was really used to the overhead view, and then I download Battlefest, and I'm like, it didn't even occur to me that they would remove overhead view where they'd force you to play in isometric. So that was a big surprise, a big letdown, because it's
Yeah.
definitely not as easy to play in isometric. Like
No, it's not.
it's kind of strange. So pretty disappointed by that. I don't know why the hell they take that out.
Do the kids like it, or oh no, the kids are booing it?
They're booing. They're booing.
Never know what kids say. Like, yeah, no, we hate it. Let's go get the original then. I cannot play that 3/4 view. I just can't do it. Not for Bomberman. It's gonna be overhead.
And here, John just forced Jason to buy the
Forced me.
the new
He
one.
called
I
me
know,
up
I
and said,
forced you.
"You need to download this, or else we're done."
I'll kill you.
And I said, I said to him, I go, "Don't tell me what to do."
I like to
But
tell
you
people what to
did.
do.
And he did. He did.
He told you what to do, and you did it, and now you have to suffer for it.
It's not a completely terrible game. I mean, I like the bombs and the different items you
I like
can
the
use.
bombs.
It's a
I
pretty
like the
bomb
bombs.
game. The game's pretty bomb.
The only
bomb.
problem is the camera angle. I think that's it. The rest is good.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree. It's cool that you can be your avatar. That's cool. Can you be the avatar in the original? The other one?
no.
Oh,
Well, so I've been playing that, and then playing Hydro Thunder. We just got done playing a game of Hydro Thunder on the Xbox Live, which is pretty fun.
Hydro Thunder.
Hydro Thunder. Actually, there's a whale in that game. There's a stage where the whale's in that game.
yep. Makes a little
Sorry.
cameo.
He does make a cameo. He took me out a couple times. I don't know. Brother brought over Black Ops. Been playing that. Didn't mean to buy it, but I played it. About several missions into it. Like it. Really good game. I don't know, man. I know there's so many other games I've been playing because it's been a busy week. But I don't know. Jason, how about you, buddy?
It was a wonderful Christmas. As everyone knows, I went through a couple of Xbox 360s in my day, and I haven't invested in one in at least a couple of years because I didn't want it to red ring on me. I just got the 250 gig Slim, not the Kinect bundle, but I did get an Xbox 360, and I got Black Ops, and I got Bad Company 2. Who would have guessed? But of course, I have been having a lot of fun with you guys. And John, you talked about it. Playing Hydro Thunder. That's excellent. We did do a little bit of Bomberman, but we have a whole world to explore here. So very, very excited to get into it.
It's going to be fun for us because now we can actually do some 4-player reviews of some online games on the 360, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that. That's really cool to do. So
We'll try, it was a good
we'll try a lot more
Christmas.
multiplayer games. Sorry,
There's a lot of multiplayer, 4-player games that we can get into. Looking forward to it.
I'm not playing with you anymore. Forget that.
Give you something to play with.
I was invisible the whole time.
So I got a remote control helicopter too. It's awesome.
Did you the little ones?
The little Air Hogs one.
They're fantastic, aren't they?
I'm flying it around the whole house. I love it.
It's unbelievable.
Of course, I'm kind of an RC car, plane, boat, train fan.
Are those are the ones they sell at Best Buy? Am I right?
I think so. Well,
I went to my uncle's and my cousin there. He's flying this little helicopter around the house. And it's got lights on it, like cop lights and stuff like that.
oh yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's so cool. I couldn't believe how mobile it was.
You can turn it on and off from the remote, the lights and all that.
Yeah, I kind of thought I'm in like Best Buy and I see this girl showing it off, and I just see it going up and down. I'm like, oh yeah, one of those old stupid things. But I had no idea that it could maneuver 360 and up and down and straight. Wow. I was really impressed. A very cool toy. I'm actually going to go get one because I was that impressed with it.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. I love it.
Really neat.
That's cool.
How much are they?
$50.
Yeah, something like that.
You can buy a bigger version that's 120. But I'd use that one outside or something. And do you know what? The thing is that what I was worried about was like, what happens if you crash it? It'll just blow up. Not blow up, but it'll just fall apart or something, right? I should put some bombs on it and send it to my neighbor's place. But the thing is it can really take a beating. I mean, I crashed this thing like a dozen times, and it was always working after that. It's really neat little device. Couldn't believe it could work so well. Have to grab one.
Yeah, mine came with an extra set of like propellers too. So.
Yeah, that's right.
In case,
extra pieces.
Yeah, you need those.
That is a cool. Didn't that make you feel like a kid again on Christmas when you got that?
Absolutely.
Wait a minute.
Love it.
Hold on a second here. I got to interrupt. This is important. Johnny, if you're going to download Hydro Thunder Hurricane, it's only discounted for just today to $5 instead of being $15.
Oh Jesus! What am I doing here? I gotta go.
Go, John.
Go, John.
Yeah, I'll go get it in a sec.
I thought there was like a life-threatening emergency or some shit.
You better get it because after the podcast, we're gonna get real wet.
Pete was gonna be like,
go and get it. Oh my god, that's great.
I thought Pete was gonna say the whale's having a heart attack or some shit. I'm like, oh my god. It was one of those moments so intense.
Late breaking news, like Miyamoto has died.
Oh my god!
Oh, Nintendo and Sega have merged.
Yeah.
All right, so who's next? Pete, how was your Christmas?
How about Pete get started? I'm going to go download Hydro Thunder. 2 seconds.
All right.
Well, let's just wait. We'll wait.
You don't have to wait.
So we waiting or going?
All I know is after the podcast, I'm going back into my room, firing up some Hydro Thunder. Shit's going to get real wet.
That's what she said.
So are we waiting or going?
Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're listening, Pete.
Okay. Oh my god, I played so many things recently. All right, I guess I'll start off with the simplest.
Just narrow it down to 50.
I don't think I'll be able to mention everything, but because some of it's absolute garbage, I'll just save it for a video or something. But I got a game on the Super Nintendo called Plok. It's a platformer that I never knew existed until I heard a song from the game, which was actually phenomenal. It's on the Super Nintendo. So I'm like, wow, this song sounds good. Let me check out what this game's all about. And it actually turns out it's a pretty unknown, underrated little gem of a platformer on the Super Nintendo. Some pretty awesome animation. It's a standard platformer where you play as a guy that sort of has a similar anatomy to Rayman in that his feet and arms are not attached to his body, and he uses those as his weapon. And the really cool thing that I really like about this game is that so far, at least in the first world that I've been playing, the levels are extremely short. I'm talking like some levels you can finish in about 30 to 45 seconds, and then you move on to the next level. So I thought that was pretty interesting because, hell, if you die, you don't really get set back too far, and some of the levels are pretty challenging. So I thought that was a really interesting design choice in terms of the game. But check it out. It's called Plok, P-L-O-K. It's a pretty good platformer that I never even knew existed on the system. And apparently everybody that does know about it really thinks pretty highly of it. So pretty good game. On the Wii, I also got Epic Mickey. And so far from what I've played, this game graphically reminds me a lot of Mushroom Men, which is a good thing because I really like the aesthetic value of that game's graphics. It's just very colorful, and it's got like a gritty, dark kind of look to it, but it's still colorful at the same time. In terms of the gameplay, it's okay. The paintbrush stuff with like thinning stuff away and painting stuff in it's okay. It's nothing like phenomenally, like, oh my god, you have to play this game for this aspect. It's so far it's a pretty just okay game. It's pretty good. The most redeeming quality to it would be its environments and its graphics. But it's not, I think the problem with Epic Mickey is it was overhyped. This is the game that, from the moment that the concept art was revealed, it was sort of overhyped, especially by Warren Spector, doing all his interviews about how this game's going to be, it's going to change how everybody looks at video games and Disney and everything. And it's just it's a good platformer. And I guess I'll leave it at that. So far, I'm not too far into it. So maybe my opinions will change.
Well, it changed my life. Thank you very much.
What? Epic Mickey?
Yeah, it's changed my life, my entire view, my religion, and everything. Even the way I dress, the way I wake up in the morning, what cereal I eat, what gas I put in my car, what car I drive. Everything's changed.
That shit is epic.
You bring a paintbrush everywhere you go, Johnny?
Well, that's part of the religion that, if you want to pay me $5, I'll tell you about the religion, and then we'll start the pyramid scheme from there. So, yeah, it has changed my life. God bless.
I also got a game that I've been wanting for years now, and that is from a series that I really enjoy, and I'm surprised it took me this long to get it. It's Shadow Hearts from the New World on the PlayStation 2. It's the third in the series Shadow Hearts is an RPG series on the PS2 that only spanned 3 games. It's sort of, I guess you can say it's a dead series because they haven't done anything with it for years now. And it's unfortunate because all 3 games are highly regarded, the first of which I really love on the PlayStation 2. And it's kind of weird how the series has evolved because the first game was sort of like this gothic horror, like pretty serious, I guess you could say, RPG. And then the second one comes out and they started adding in a lot of comedy, a lot of wacky characters, just like some wacky writing to it. And this third one, oh my God, it's from what I played so far, I'm only about 45 minutes into it, but it's a really wacky RPG. Like they've got some crazy stuff going on in here. And based on what I've seen from the characters that you can recruit, it's probably one of the craziest and wackiest RPGs that anybody can really play. So if you're looking for a pretty wacky, definitely Japanese RPG with a great combat system where it's timing based, so you have to time your attacks just right so that it's basically on a circle and a wheel, and this line spins around the wheel, and you have to stop it at certain points. And if you stop it at the right point, your attacks will be more powerful, and if you miss, your attack will miss. It's a very simple but addictive combat system, and it's really great. So I got the strategy guide with that. Looking forward to playing some more of that. I also got Golden Sun, Dark Dawn. What can I say about this game? Because I'm not very far into it. Because I've been trying to play a little bit of everything. Graphically, it's pretty nice looking, especially the battles. The music is great. I'm actually surprised the story so far it's been recapped pretty well. I beat the first one years ago. The second one I never finished, but I think I have a gist of basically what happened because it has this great little thing in the game where if a term comes up that you've never heard of before, that's sort of important to the series. You just tap on it and it'll tell you a bit about it. So sort of
Pete, can I just break in for a sec? I was talking to Brian at Game Deals about this series because I've always been fascinated. I've never played it. And he's like, oh my God, you have to play it. And I'm like, well, why? What's so great about this RPG series? And he said it was that in the first game, you play as the good guy, obviously the good guys, and you're trying to stop the bad guys. But what's interesting is this correct? When you play the second game, you're actually the bad guys in this one, fighting against the good guys. So you get to see, both sides of the spectrum, and in a way, it's kind of like a great kind of thing. It's like both sides are equally good in their intentions, but it comes off evil to the other side. It's very cool.
He's probably right because I haven't played the series in years. I never really actually got far into the second one at all. I only played it for like 2 hours, so I don't know. I should get back to it, but honestly, I say that about a lot of games and RPGs. It's just like, there's such a time commitment. But the first one was great. In terms of the story wasn't what really captured me about the first Golden Sun. It was because at the time, the graphics, and they still are, so impressive in the battles. It's just. I'd never seen battles like that before on a handheld system, and the music was just... I never got tired of the battle themes in that series. But so far from what I played, it's... I'm very early on, so I can't really give a concrete...
Is the battle system good? Are the animations all good and all that? Yeah.
Animations are awesome. Yeah, they look really great. They look sort of... they basically look like high resolution versions of the first two on the Game Boy Advance, and the music's great. The summons look awesome from what I've seen so far of them. So, yeah, I'm too early on though. I'm still sort of like in the tutorial stages of it, like very early. So,
Well, yeah, maybe one of the listeners can tell us kind of how this one plays out. Is this, as I say, I heard you were the good guys in the first one, the bad guys in the second one, and if I'm right, this is what I've heard. You play in the new world of what was created in the first and second game. I kind of like how that storyline goes through all three games. It's kind of cool. And there's actually progression to it and actually a thought behind it. It's not just like a second game with some new characters 100 years later. This is
definitely a direct continuation. Characters carry over and everything.
That's awesome.
So
that's neat.
Cool.
Yeah.
The one thing that I heard about the game that some people think is great, some people think, not too great, is that it's overly easy. So if you don't like easy RPGs, this is one to avoid.
Well, I do. I don't mind it.
So you'd probably like it then. But
I don't mind easy games. I don't mind easy games at all.
I don't either. But one series that I don't like to be too easy are RPGs, because that's when I get a little bit bored. Is when
it depends
every random battle is
easy in what way. If you walk in every 2 seconds and you get attacked by a monster,
boss battles that only last a few turns. Stuff
no, forget that. I know it's got to last long. I'm meaning that it doesn't turn you off. You're not grinding every 2 seconds like Beyond the Beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
What else have I been playing? Well, of course, I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV, which I'm going to go on the record and say is my absolute favorite Final Fantasy game in the series.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. It's actually it's not that good.
That's not psych.
Dude.
You scared the hell out of me.
So far, it's it does some things right and it does a lot of things wrong. Like coming from playing Final, I guess I'm just comparing it too much to Final Fantasy 11. But honestly, like the only thing it has in common with 11 is the bad stuff, like having to run you have to run I haven't gotten a chocobo yet or anything, but there's a lot of running. The quests, you're just like, okay, you talk to this person, now you got to run across the damn town and talk to this person, and then run all the way back and talk to another person. I have to say that, I did get my new computer for Christmas, which can run this game on basically almost the max setting. The only setting that I don't have all the way up is some kind of lighting setting where it gives you like realistic lighting effects, which if I turn that on, it basically makes the game crawl, so I can't play with that. But it looks phenomenal. Like it's definitely a really gorgeous game to play. I'm playing it on my HD TV for now until I can get a monitor. Which it's playing computer games on a 46-inch TV is not the wisest thing at times when the text is really small. So I definitely want to get at least a actual monitor, smaller HD TV to play it on. But I don't know. I was streaming.
What's going on with this game?
I was streaming. Go ahead.
So I was going to say that I was watching your stream earlier on, and the game looked good from what I saw. But like, what's going on with the gameplay and all that? What's the problem with this game?
I'm just about maybe 5 hours in at most so far, and I'm still in the tutorial stages. The thing about this game is it does not tell you much at all. It sort of just drops you in and it's like, okay, figure it all out. Where most MMOs, they sort of help you along, this is what this does, this is what this menu here does. 14 doesn't do any of that. So today I spent about 20 minutes trying to figure out how the hell I attack as in my mage with my staff. Because I switched classes from a Lancer to a Mage or a Conjurer or whatever. And I was having trouble navigating through the menus, trying to figure out how do I equip my regular attack with the Mage. Overall, just the menu system it's terrible. Like, I'm the kind of person where I guess maybe I'm used to playing on the 360. I don't know. With a controller, where now on 14 it's like a lot of pointing and clicking to navigate through the menus. You're constantly hitting macros, whereas in Final Fantasy 11, there's an auto attack, so your normal attacks happen normally. In 14, if you're in a battle, like your hands never get a rest. You're constantly hitting because you have to hit a key for your regular attack that occurs, every 2 seconds. So if you're there attacking with a dagger or something, you're sitting there hitting the same button over and over and over, and it ties into their combat system with it has an active time bar with every action decreases the time bar and it refills over time. But I guess the only thing that's kept me going so far is the story is pretty interesting. It's got some nice cutscenes and everything. And I'm just interested to see how the game progresses, because so far, I don't know if it's the server that I picked. I'm on Rabanastre, by the way, if anybody's on that server, Rabanastre or something. But it seems like a ghost town. Like, nobody is talking. I don't see there's no text chat like going on. No one's like shouting like, "Hey, let's form up a party," or "Who needs to do this quest?" None of that. I'm running around the main town. There's only like one area where it's populated with people.
Wow.
And everything else is a ghost town. When you're out in the fields, once again, there's only one area that has a couple of people kind of crafting. Everything else empty. It feels like a ghost town. Excuse me, I got like a runny nose here.
Got boogers hanging out.
The game forces you to change jobs, which I don't really have a problem with, because Final Fantasy 11, you had them. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because you get to your maximum experience for the day, right?
Well, I didn't get to that point yet. But if like, I think you get the per week or something, there's only a certain amount of XP you can get. But in terms of forcing you, meaning like today I'm leveling Lancer, and I'm like, after I get done with a battle, my HP is like almost run out, and I'm like, oh my god, how the hell do I restore HP? And then someone in the chat is like, level Conjurer to level 4, get the cure spell. So I'm like, okay, I go do that, and you can cross your abilities between the jobs, but it's just a system that's sort of weird. Like, if you're the type of person where you want to stick to one job and just stick with it, you won't like this game, because you have to change jobs. You can stick, from what I've read, you can stick with a single class and just go out like that, but that's not the way the game wants you to play the game, so you'll run into problems. If you don't like crafting, you won't like this game, because you basically you have to craft.
I hate that already.
One of the quests, I had to go out and do some logging. I have to say, it was one of the dumbest things I ever had to do. I had to run for about... Okay, I get the quest, and then it makes me run for about 8 minutes to the point where I have to get, there's other trees around that are harvest points, but no, it makes me run across the map to a certain spot so that I can log 3 specific trees. And then it dumps me into some stupid mini game, which was not fun at all. And then I was done. I'm like, wow, that was just not fun at all. So granted, I'm not too far into it. I'm probably missing some points to some of the stuff, some of the intricacies that, I'm just not getting yet, because this game does not help you at all with this, I'm basically teaching myself. There's nobody, there's no one like, hey, new players from Christmas, come join our link shell. No such thing. Like, no one talks in this game. So if anybody's on Rabnet, or, what?
And I was going to say, Pete, Final Fantasy 11 was like that. I remember when I first started Final Fantasy 11, when the PS2 version came out, I was dropped in the main city. What was the main city that brands? What's it called again?
Astok.
Yeah.
There's Sandoria, Bastok, or Widhurst.
Yeah. Bastok. Yeah, Bastok. What am I saying? It's been so many years now. And I remember I jumped into that city where I started, and it felt like there was hundreds of people running around doing their thing. And I'm standing there. I'm like, I didn't know what the hell to do. I didn't know where to go. I'm looking through the menu system. I'm like, what the hell is this? There's these auction houses. There's all this stuff going on. It just sounds, to me, the Japanese have a really strange thing. They love throwing you in these MMOs, and they say get on with it. Where would you say? I'd say Western RPGs, like you're saying, like World of Warcraft, kind of holds your hand for a little bit. Where these guys are like, screw it, this is a man's RPG. Just figure it out. And
well, yeah,
really,
I guess that's the way. I guess I forgot
really
about that.
Yeah.
I guess I was just fortunate enough in 11 that I got into a guild or a link shell early on. Whereas in this, it's like, it's like 11, where it doesn't really help you along the way, but it's so underpopulated that you just kind of feel lost in the crowd, I guess. Maybe I'm on the wrong server, who knows? But hell, I'll switch servers if there's a server out there where people, from YouTube are playing. I'll switch over to that, because I didn't really, I'm not that high up in level. I haven't played that much, I'll switch over. So I don't know. Overall, though, I'm still kind of mixed on it. Like, I really want to like this game, but it's just I'm not addicted to it, which I guess is a good thing. But when I'm playing an MMO and I'm like, after an hour, I'm like, okay, I want to take a break. There's something wrong, because usually an MMO will grip you and you'll want to keep playing.
You're screwed. Yeah, exactly.
So you had a pretty good Christmas then, Pete.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was, what else did I play? Let's see what else I got here. I got a Tapwave Zodiac, which I played around with for a little bit.
What games do you have? What games do you have for that, Pete?
let's see, I picked a
You have
Spy
Duke
Hunter. No, that's one that I don't have. I want to get that, but Tapwave games are so hard to get.
Yeah, they're unusual. Yeah.
I played a game called Legacy, which I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. A traditional turn-based dungeon crawler. Game's terrible. So do not go out of your way.
For those who are listening and may not know what Tapwave is,
And we don't blame you.
yeah, it's his unusual handhelds by Zodiac, and it's kind of like a Palm. Think of it like a Palm Pilot. If you guys remember the Palm coming out in the 90s, think of that, but mix it with like a PSP, I guess, graphic wise. It's pretty decent graphically.
Yeah,
I
good
think.
graphics, yeah.
It runs off like kind of an SD card game. I did a review on my channel recently on one, so if you guys are curious on it. But Pete, do you plan on doing a review on the Tapwave eventually soon?
Maybe eventually. I might mention it fast. I'm not sure. I might do a video. I'll probably redirect them to your channel for like the history on it. I'll probably just show off some of the games because you already, you covered all that stuff.
It's a cool system. It's a touch screen. It's a big screen. I love the screen size on the thing, and its resolution's good. It's very bright, and it just came out really bad timing. Came out in what year?
2003?
Three, yeah, 2003.
I think. Did you find that yours has really bad battery life though?
Yeah, it's terrible. Battery life is terrible.
It's freaking dying like the second I start turning it on.
That's terrible.
Terrible.
Hey, wait. I got to break in here. I got late breaking news that's going to change your life. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. I just downloaded Hydro Thunder.
Hydro Thunder.
It's only $5 today, only today. And if I didn't grab it today, the world would have ended.
Yep.
It would tip off of its axis.
Thanks for that. Anyways, it was $5. So that's good to get for that.
That's an awesome game for $5. It's unfortunate that our listeners won't get in on the deal. So
Yeah, let's play it after the podcast.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
Tell me what to do, fool.
What about you, Johnny?
Oh my God, I bought a lot of games, and for game deals, the owner went around town, and we have this Rogers video up here, and I guess they were selling, buy one used game, get 2 used games free.
Oh, wow.
So he went to every game store and he bought all of it on Christmas Eve, and nobody even knew about the sale except for him. So he just cleaned house. So I won't tell. I'll save some of the games I got for a new GameStop episode. But this is interesting. Pete will find this interesting. A game I picked up that I've had for about a year that I've actually never really played past the first level and I actually finished was Uncharted 1. I finally finished Uncharted 1. Amazing.
Nice. Good game. The second one's better. We put the second
much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. Because I think Uncharted 1 is great. I had a really good time playing it. I finished it in 2 sittings.
Oh, shit. I just forgot a game. Go ahead. I just remembered a game. Yeah, go ahead.
My God. He remembered a game.
I can't believe I forgot this one, too.
The world's going to end.
World is going to end. Some kid's going, which game is it? Tell us. We can't live another Christmas without hearing it. But no, anyways, Uncharted, I love it. And just tell me what you guys think, because the thing that kind of got a little bit repetitive with the game is it's like cinema, do a really easy puzzle, and then you run into a forested area or some ruins, and all of a sudden some guy's like, there he is, and everybody's shooting at you.
It was a great game, yeah. But that was my main complaint with it as well. I felt that it was too much of this. There was too much like shooting. There wasn't enough platforming, which I thought was the strongest point of the game. The second one completely fixes that, so you don't got to worry about that.
I definitely am going to pick up the Game of the Year edition Uncharted 2 for sure. The next game, so I finished it. I was happy. I'm like, yay, finished the game. And then the next game I started playing, and I'm about probably a couple hours in, God of War 3. And it's one I got from for Christmas, and I like it. It's graphically freaking amazing, and I must admit I didn't care too much for the first God of War. I wasn't a fan, but the third one is definitely getting my attention a little bit more. And another game I picked up, I had a gift certificate. I went and you won't believe the amount of it's so stupid the amount of games I got this Christmas. People will be like, that's just stupid. If I actually named all, I probably got about 14 games.
Holy shit.
Yeah, a stupid amount. So I'm only listing a couple here. But I got Red Dead Redemption, the Undead pack or whatever, the expansion on that. And I played a couple hours of it. I wasn't a big fan, unfortunately. I just kind of thought it was Red Dead Redemption again, but with the undead. Now, that should be good, but I just felt like I was riding forever. You know, I was just like, man, they really kind of milking this a little bit. And I kind of wanted to like a self-contained small story in one town in the Old West, maybe a couple towns, but it's kind of a little bit bigger than that. For people who like the first game, they're going to like the second game. For me, with my time, I was just like, well, geez, I don't think I have the time for this. It wasn't a hate of the game. I was like, man, I haven't got the time for this. Okay, the other game, the final game I'll mention is, and I'm halfway through the game, love it so far. Big fan of it, but I've always been a fan of this series, and that is Halo Reach. Oh, and love it. I think it's great. Here's my experience with the Halo series. Halo 1 was the very first shooter that I ever played. First-person shooter. I know you guys are amazed by that.
That's amazing.
I know, isn't it? You guys were playing GoldenEye back then, and I wasn't.
Wolfenstein, and just like...
I know, but I saw it all at my friends' places. I said I didn't have a computer back in the day. So I just kind of had to look over the shoulder of my friends playing it. It's not that I didn't like these games. I thought they were awesome, but I just didn't have them. So I didn't sit down and play a shooter till Halo 1, and then that was a little bit of a religious experience for me in the whole shooter zone. I was like, wow, this is great. And then I got the second game, and it was a little overhyped, the second game, I think. Remember that big movie? It was like, wow, that's what the second game is going to play like, where it was okay. The second game was okay. Third game got me back into it. I liked the third game a lot. Then ODST, I was not a fan of that. I just thought it was an empty city, very boring game. And Halo Reach, wow, they really kind of got I hate to say that. It's like, but they really got the magic back of Halo again. Like, everything I kind of liked about the Halo series. And God, the graphics are really good. I'm like, this is what I thought ODST would be. And I'm getting in Halo Reach and loving the game so far. Really good gameplay. Like, just really addicting. I just, when I start playing Halo Reach, I don't want to go to bed. It's like, I got to get up for work. I'm like, I don't want to go one more level. So
we should do some co-op on that sometime. That would be a good.
I'm totally up for it. I'll pause where I'm at if you want to do that.
Well, where are you up to right now? Do you remember?
Oh God.
Well, here's the thing with me. I made it pretty decently far into the game, and then I told this story, I think, where I didn't know that the game didn't have an autosave function where you have to manually save. So like I played for like 2 hours one day. And then I quit out, and it like bumped me all the way back. And I'm like, holy shit.
There's something weird with that, because I know mine always says saving. I could swear I see that. And I have saved it.
No, you have to manually, at least.
Well, sorry, you know what? Whenever I'm finishing a game on a night, like last night when I finished playing it, I just always go save and quit. I always want to do that.
I unfortunately did not do that. I thought it would save on its own,
Well, we'll go see where we're at. Like, I don't mind waiting a bit or catching up to you or whatever. It's no big deal to me, but it's a lot of fun. I think that'd be
a good idea. I want to finish though, because I just lost the motivation after that. So
Johnny, it sounds like every other Halo is good. First one's good.
You know what? I was thinking that last night. Like, the first Halo was obviously what made the series and what everybody really liked. The second one was overhyped, not so much. Third one brought it back. ODST. Now it's a side game. ODST, I understand, but that game just, man, that disappointed. What do you think, Pete? Can you say that too? I can say that.
Halo Wars.
I love Halo Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not really. Would you really?
It's not in the main. Yeah, it's not in the main.
Yeah, that's a side game, a strategy game.
ODST, I only played a little bit, co-op at a friend's house, and I have to say I wasn't a fan.
No, it's really boring.
Yeah,
it's like this empty city.
We got lost in like the opening, the first level. Yeah, we couldn't find where we were going. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem with that game, unfortunately. I really wanted to like it because I love the armor. And that's one thing I got to say. This is going to sound like a really funny thing to kind of go on about Halo Reach, but I love, and we can say this because we saw it so much at PAX, John, is that so many guys were walking around in the Halo Reach armor. And I'm such a big fan of the armor. I think, like, it looks so cool. I loved how they progressed the armor into Halo Reach. It looks so goddamn cool. I love that stuff. And the graphics when we're all in the Warhog driving around and there's like 3 characters on there, I can't believe they keep the detail. I can't believe how good it looks. I'm like, wow, look at that. Like, there's 3 small characters, but they look so detailed. And they put a lot of work into this Halo Reach. You can see the money in it. I didn't see the money in Halo ODST, but you can see it in Reach. It feels like a full-on great Halo game again. So anybody's on the fence about it, I did pick it up for $20. So that's why I justified it, because I only wanted to play for really the one player mode, or maybe even co-op, but that's about it. But if you can find it for $20, definitely get it. It's good. So sorry, that's me done. I got a lot of other games. I've been playing a lot of other stuff, but I'm just gonna save that for my YouTube show. I'll have nothing to talk about on there. Yeah.
Well, let me just mention real fast the game that I forgot. Let me drop a hint. Maybe you guys will get it.
Drum roll. This is going to be the game of the century. Everybody.
It has one of the absolute steepest learning curves I've ever played in a game. Possibly the hardest learning curve ever. Any ideas yet?
Nope.
What
that's hint
system?
number 1.
That'll give it away. All right. How about? Okay, it's on the Xbox, the original Xbox.
Oh,
This will definitely give it, Steel Battalions. Huge box.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
dude, that
That's a
game is
big
so
one,
freaking
actually.
hard, dude. Yeah,
That game like just whipped my ass when I first started playing it. Seriously.
there's no training, kind of like with, I guess, Halo ODS. What was the game you were talking about earlier that said
Well,
no training?
And the reason for that is because like the way the story plays out, it's like it's sort of like Evangelion, where it's like, okay, everybody else just got attacked and died. You get in this damn thing and pilot it quick, kind of
That's
figure
like
it out
any
on your own.
anime with a mech, though. It's
Exactly,
always
yeah.
Yeah.
it's a mech that's got to save everybody.
But oh my god, Jesus, this game is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
I'm just
hangar
finally
opens up,
now,
there you go, right?
but just first of all, for people that don't know, it's a mech game where when it came out of retail for $250, the reason being was because it came with this ridiculous control specifically for this game. It's 3 pieces. The game came in this humongous box. It has 2 flight joysticks, sort of like, like a flight game that you play on a PC or something, and 1 center piece. So it's a 3-piece, huge, just Google it. Google Steel Battalion controller. You'll see. Has like 50, 60 buttons on it. You got a button to freaking clean your windshield on the freaking mech if it gets dirty. You have a button to extinguish a fire. You have communications buttons. You have dials. You have switches. Like there's so much shit.
Doodads. You wouldn't believe what's on there.
But the controls are like there's a joystick to control which way your head is looking, and then there's a joystick to control which way your gun is looking, and then there's another flight stick to control if you're moving to the left or the right, and then it's, oh my god, it's crazy. And like when you first try and pilot it, it's freaking tough because you can be pointing your gun one way, but your head can be looking another, and you have to be walking the right way.
And I gotta cut in on this. The biggest one of all. There's an eject button. And if you get shot, you're starting to blow up, and you don't eject and hit that button and eject out of there, it erases your save.
I learned that the hard way.
To the game, and if you don't eject at the right time, forget about it. Like you go all the way back to the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah.
Or if you die too many times in this game, you lose like points to buy new mechs, because when you die, your mech is gone. You just have to start a new game as well.
It's evil.
So I played it for about 2.5 hours. I made it up to the 3rd level, and I'm finally just now starting to get accustomed to the controls in the game, where I'm starting to feel a little comfortable with them. But man, it took a while.
Hey, here's one that you guys might find interesting, is that the creator of it, for Capcom, the director or whatever who came up with this idea for this thing, he actually wanted to make the controller out of die-cast metal to begin with, and he wanted it weighted. Yeah, he wanted it weighted like.
Oh, I forgot too.
Yeah,
There's foot pedals as well. There's freaking foot pedals.
It's got like 3 pedals, right?
Yeah, there's a pedal to
Clutch.
move forward. Yeah, there's one to move forward, and then there's one in the middle for like stop and brake, and then there's one for boost. And then also there's basically like a clutch, like if you're driving a car, to go into reverse, neutral, and then 1 to I think 6 for like speed. And you can't just like start, just like a car, you can't start on the 6th. You have to start off on 1 and gradually increase it. So it's freaking crazy, this game. But there's just something about it where it's like it's so over the top and so crazy that like it's like unlike anything I've ever played before.
Last Christmas, after I did my new Game Stuff episode, and I showed it, I'm like, yeah, finally I picked this up. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to do a review of this. I was so stoked about it. And then I pull it all out. I taped it to a table, with that green tape, for painting. So it's not going to actually wreck the table. So I and because I wanted it perfect. And then I taped the pedals under that table. And I made a perfect little, I can't believe I'm just saying this, a perfect little mech cockpit. Okay. And I was like, okay. And I had my friend from California, a good friend of mine for years. He was over. I'm like, we're going to fucking do this. I said, I wanted to play this for years. And man, I'm telling you, like Pete, I got to like the third level and I started to scream a little bit. I mean, like, hey, Pete, what do you think of when you're running and all of a sudden the mech just starts going sideways and falls?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's another thing in this game. If you're running too fast and you try and make a turn, you fall over.
Oh, it's so lit.
And to try to figure out how to get back up, it's confusing. There's no training tutorial thing to start this game off. You think they'd have some kind of learning curve, but it's like they throw you right into it. It's tough. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Everyone
cool,
should know how to pilot a mech, damn it.
This is the game. If you ever wondered what it was like to pilot a mech, no kidding. Like this is the game. It's seriously so over the top.
Pete, do you have the green button or the blue button version?
I made sure I got the green one. Yeah,
that's the first version, first wave. A little bit more rare of the two. But yeah, they're still equally as hard.
Yeah, Pete, did you have it ship? Sorry. How much did the shipping cost you on that?
It was like $20.
That's not bad for the size and weight of that thing.
Huge box. Yeah. Huge box.
If people want to buy this
army
today,
boxes. Yeah.
If people want to buy this today, it costs between like 150 to 200 plus, depending on condition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They have a second game out too, don't they? They have a second game. There's 2 games for it.
Line of. What is it called? Line of. Oh, I have it.
Fire or something. Is
Line
it
of Fire or something?
Is it online only, or is there a single player?
It's online only. Only online. That's the thing with that.
So basically, if you buy it now, you can't do anything with it.
No, it's done. It's all over now.
Yeah.
I remember all the commercials for that game. It showed all these Japanese players, fighting it out. It looked so damn cool back then. I was like, oh my God, I got to get that game. But that's why I didn't do a review on it, because I thought I don't have a lot of really wonderful, positive things to say. It was just so hard, and my time with the game was very, very frustrating. I loved it. I love certain aspects of it. I love the controller. I love flicking on all the switches when you're starting up. It feels so cool. And I like the eject button. I find that's a lot of fun. I like shooting things. I don't like falling on the side. It's a very difficult game. It takes a lot to get all the way through it.
Definitely.
So, yeah, it was a big one to forget there, Pete.
Yeah, it was really. Literally.
Literally, it was big, yeah. Something I forgot as well, guys. I got the OnLive system, microsystem in the mail.
Nice.
Remember we talked about the OnLive before a couple podcasts ago, and Pete mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm curious about this thing.
I think, Jason, you have it as well?
He did a video for the PC version.
I did a video for the PC interface, but mine also showed up in the mail too.
Cool. Have you plugged it in yet?
I was going to do an unboxing video, so I haven't even opened it yet.
Okay. So pretty cool. The controller actually handles really good. It actually it's like a hybrid between a PS3 controller and a 360 controller. It comes with a pack, kind of like the 360, you can put batteries in. It also has a rechargeable thing too, so you can do a rechargeable battery pack, which is nice. It's a super small unit. I was expecting a little bit bigger. It's, I don't know, maybe 3 inches by 2 inches in size.
Oh,
so it's really small. Yeah, it's really small. But I've been playing. I was playing it today, and actually, it streams really well for me. I'm kind of torn on the whole like downloading. You don't actually own the game aspect of it. It's all in the cloud, so you can download these games, and it's the games are range anywhere from, I've seen they have like Dirt 2 is free now. They have a trial run for free. You can rent games, which is pretty cool. You can do like a 3-day rental for $3.99. You can do a 5-day rental for like $6.99, or you can do like a 30-minute. Like I was playing Just Cause 2 for like 30 minutes, just a free trial, which is pretty cool. You can watch people play. I know Jason did a video on it. It's pretty cool. I like the fact that you can play it on your PC, you can save it, and you go to your TV, you can continue it there too. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
I'm just scared. Like, are they going to be releasing more games for this thing? Because it seems like it's been the same game since it came out.
Yeah, so they have a little section coming games and preview games. I think, I know EA, there's 20 publishers who are on board. So you got EA, you've got like Warner Brothers, Square Enix. So I don't know. I think they're waiting. They did announce, like, I think for $9.99, it's an optional service you can subscribe to. And there's like going to be like 40 games you can play unlimited amount for $9.99 a month. So
that's pretty worth it.
Yeah, it's up to you. You don't have to do that. The games, like, for example, Just Cause 2, it was like $14.99. And then they have other games like Alien vs. Predator, I think is like $14.99. So they're definitely reasonable in price. I know when it first logged onto it, the games were much more expensive, and they dropped the prices quite a bit. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing does. So
either way, if it makes it or not, we still got the consoles. This is a rare item, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. If it goes defunct, like where those games go, the server's gone.
Yeah, they're done.
You're shit out of luck.
You lose your games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You lose your games.
That's why I might just do the subscription. That way it's like you don't feel like you've lost games you've bought.
Here's another interesting thing they announced. They're making apps for it so you can play on your iPod, your iPad, eventually your Droid. So that's kind of interesting too, right? You can play these games on your phones.
Yeah, just going cross-platform. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's just the future. I don't know. It's what they'd say the future. But, from my experience I didn't have any lag. Unfortunately, I have a fast enough connection. I think they need a minimum of like a 3 megabyte Ethernet connection speed, at least to be able to maintain a high connection, no lag. But it's interesting. Interesting for sure. So. What?
Was that the mech talking? Pilot me. Push my buttons.
Frustrated with me.
Let's should we go on to some questions, guys?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Yeah, because we actually said originally that this was going to be the questions episode. So definitely we're going to answer all all you guys' questions out there that you've been asking for a while.
Not every single one. Yeah, as many as we can.
All 150,000.
Yeah.
Let's start it with an audio question, I guess.
Sure. Let's start with an audio question.
All right.
Hey, this is My Little Hero from the forums. My question to you guys is, what do you guys think about the video games are art debate? Personally, me, I don't believe video games are art yet. I believe in the future they can be, but right now there hasn't been a video game that has affected me emotionally. There has been some that it's gotten pretty close, like Braid and Earthbound, but I find a lot of quote artistic video games end up being pretentious, like Limbo or The Path. It's just for me, like the medium that has affected me the most emotionally has been literature. And I'm not even films; it's just literature. That's the one medium that I can totally relate to. Again, I'm not saying that video games can never be art. I am very optimistic about the future that it can be, and they're taking small steps in the right direction. But now I have to say no. So I just want to know the opinions of you guys, and keep up the podcast. I love it. Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's a really unique question. Kind of never.
Hey, here's another one. What's this? Was it Roger? Was it Siskel and Ebert? Was it Ebert? Ebert said he's like, yeah, video games are not art. Movies are art, but video games are not. I remember.
Oh yeah, totally. I remember that.
Made a huge thing about that, and I remember just sitting like, what do you guys think? Like, I absolutely think video games are art. I don't think all of them are art. It depends on what your definition of art is. If you play a video game and you have an emotional reaction, you like the visuals in it, the music, it comes together and does something for you emotionally. Isn't that kind of art? I think it is. So, what do you guys think?
It depends who you're talking to, I guess. I mean, everybody classifies art as different things. What is it? Duchamp takes a freaking toilet bowl and puts it in a room and says this is art, and people think he's a genius. So when you look at I look at video games as art in motion, basically. Even just still screenshots and everything. I totally believe they're art. One of my favorite games of all time is a very artsy. Well, a lot of them actually. Okami's a very artsy game. Ico obviously is a very artsy game, which I love. Shadow of the Colossus, Rez. I think they're definitely art. People can disagree, but hey, that's their opinion.
I don't see how you can call movies art and games not.
Oh, of course.
I mean, the video games are getting closer to movies nowadays as ever before.
Yeah.
So. Definitely, I agree with Pete. I agree with what Johnny. I agree with what you're saying. Even the music is art itself too. A lot of these games, the soundtracks are just great, and they put a lot of production value into these games nowadays for sure.
What do you think, Jason?
Video games are absolutely art, and everyone has a different definition of art. When it comes down to it, the whole creation, the whole process, from start to finish. I mean, those are artists that are creating these games, from the people who do the sound design, to the people who do the animation, to the people who code it. I think everyone involved are artists. And this is coming from, myself. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm in this this field, of artsy, whatever. You know what I mean? So in my definition, for sure, if you ask me, are video games art? Absolutely. Just as much as anything else out there, a movie, music, literature, paintings, all of that, all of it's art. So
I think also it's almost like movies are something that you watch and you come away and you had an experience from it. If it was good or bad, you had an experience. But video games are almost a different, more interesting form of art to me personally, is that you're interacting in that world, whatever that world be, a shooting game, an RPG game, or a puzzle game. The interactivity makes it, I don't know, like when I think of games, I've had some experiences with video games that I've never had with movies. It's just been very different.
Yeah, it's like an interactive art experience. Exactly.
Yeah. You can shape the way that your experience goes. And I'm absolutely fascinated. To be absolutely honest, you could write a thesis paper on that, eh? When you think about it.
True.
Yeah.
Homework assignment, Johnny. I want you to write a thesis.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm burning the midnight oil tonight, writing that on the computer.
Good question.
Nice. That's a good question.
Yep.
Okay, guys. So I have a question here on the forums that I'd like to ask you guys and open it up. This is from Zack Attack. I think we have a Saved by the Bell fan, possibly. Hey, guys. Quick question. Do you think arcade gaming could see a revival? Johnny, we'll start with you.
Wow. Arcade games getting a revival, meaning that arcade games used to be absolutely huge and gigantic, and they've taken a bit of a back seat to console games. And are we going to see more of a revival of them in 7-Elevens? Maybe see the revival of arcades in general and all that? I will say absolutely, without a doubt, no. I think you'll always see specialty arcade games. Like maybe you guys agree, disagree? Maybe like, the firefighters or, like shooting games with actual guns, stuff you can't get at home. I think there's always be a little bit of a market for that, but more specialty arcade games, yes, but not the old days of just another Street Fighter comes out, it's the arcade, goes to an arcade and everybody goes there. I don't think that's going to ever happen again. So, in my opinion, anyways. What do you think, Jason?
The market is there, but only in select facilities. I agree with you, Johnny. I think we're never going to see them again like we used to. They're not going to be in every store, at 7-Elevens and thrift stores. They're not going to be hanging out here and there. There has to be a specialty facility to house them. So like, GameWorks or, I can't even think of any others right now. The big corporation type arcades. I think that's the best as it's going to get, just because we can get, quote unquote, now the same experience with our consoles at home, and we can be at home in the comforts of our home. We can play online with friends. You know what I mean? Like, that's the experience now.
It has to be something different. It has to be something you cannot get at home. It has to be like something wild. They go, oh my God, guys, we've got to go to this arcade or this place to play this game.
There has to be a niche, okay? So you can have that. You can have the arcade games. But I think in order for it to succeed, you have to have something else to go along with it.
Maybe a groinal attachment to a video game. Maybe that's what will get me out of the house, but that's just me.
Or when you walk into it, you get an instant groin rub from hot women or something. I don't know.
A little happy ending always helps,
A nice love pat.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. What do you think, Gamester?
You guys nailed it on the head. I remember back in the day, I used to go to arcade because the graphics were better, the experience was different than what you can get at home. But really, home markets have caught up graphically and just experience-wise as well to what arcades are today. So you pretty much go to a GameWorks or you go to any arcade today, they're going to be either A, shooters, or B, racers. You don't see any beat 'em ups. You don't see any fighters, unfortunately. So I think it will not make a revival, unfortunately. But I do think, like Jason said, there's still a market out there for it. I was up in Portland. And Portland has a number of arcades.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It does.
I mean, they have a ton of arcades, and every one I went to, they were packed. And they call them barcades, where they have like a liquor, the bar and alcohol, the whole.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's an awesome setup, man.
Great idea.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely a market for it, and I think there's a lot of nostalgic people our age who are nostalgic for it, and even playing like a Neo Geo on the cabinet is a lot different than playing the AES at home. Right? Yeah. It's a different experience. So, Pete, what do you think?
I mean, I guess you guys said everything there is to say. I guess I'll just bring up that I'm thankful for having stuff like the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation 3. But for someone like me who wasn't around to play arcades in an actual arcade, room back then, they were around, but I just never got around to it. But at least being able to, I guess you can say the watered down version. Just like X-Men when we were playing that. It's a game that I probably would have never had the chance to ever play again. It was back in my Chuck E. Cheese back then, but just being able to at least experience it on the Xbox, I'm happy for that. So thank God for downloadable games. They help a little bit in terms of keeping arcade games alive in a slight way.
Yeah.
Speaking of arcade room, I just downloaded on my 360 that arcade room was checking out the other night. Pete, do you have any other games for that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the game room? No, I didn't buy anything.
So
I'd buy every game for the game room. Okay, ready? I'd buy every game for that was co-op if it had online play. But it doesn't.
Yeah, that's lame. But it's cool that they have actually the artwork or the cabinets and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool that they've gone a whole bunch of different Atari games, television games. It's pretty cool. Jason, have you seen this yet?
Yeah, I have. I've actually went in there and started downloading.
Yeah. So it's cool that they're kind of bringing that back and stuff, but it's definitely not the same as going in there and
It'll never be the same as the good old days.
Definitely not.
You know what, guys? Just to wrap up this question, I'm sorry. I'm eating pizza.
You're reminding me of Andrew.
I know, that's why I
Did
said
your
it.
mom just send it to you?
Someone asked me what flavor.
Yeah.
What flavor?
Regular.
Glad we asked.
I want to try hit up when I'm at PAX East this year. It's probably an hour and a half from Boston.
Hey,
So-
sorry, I got an update about that. I am definitely not going. I checked out multiple flights there, and at the end of the day, the entire trip would cost me $1,200, and I can't justify it. I like you guys, but I don't like you that much.
Fair enough.
Seriously, I really would have liked to done it, but the reality is, I would have flown in. The next day, I go and do the convention full on, and then the next day I fly back. That's not worth $1,200.
No way.
Oh, you mean you can't do the 3-day thing? Hell no, that ain't worth it.
No, that is the 3-day thing. The 3-day
Wait, what do you
thing
mean?
is I fly in on I think it's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So I fly in on the Friday morning. I get there like 11 in the bloody morning. So I go and check in and do this whatever I can do there. Meet up with you guys. Do the convention the next day. On the Sunday, I'm flying home. No, not for $1,200. I looked at it, with the girlfriend. I'm like, let's see if we can do this. Like, let's do it, because we're both pretty hyped to do that. It would be a lot of fun. I wouldn't mind flying to Boston and doing PAX East. That's fun, but not for that price. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, I agree. Well, there's always next year possibly. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Whatever.
There's always PAX Prime.
Yeah. Oh, hey. I can't talk about it, but we're trying to get a really, really nice parlor suite. Let's call it like a penthouse suite for the game deals party.
Stripper pole.
Just for you. That's in your room.
Oh yes.
Can I bunk with you?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But we're looking into getting a penthouse room.
Nice.
They're actually Brian and another guy are driving down to Seattle, and they're going to be talking to the hotel, patrons, and seeing if they can secure the penthouse suite.
Yeah, I'm already excited. That was so much fun last year going to that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Bring ketchup potato chips, please.
Oh no, that's guaranteed, and all that bullshit, and all the Smarties and all that stuff. Yeah, and I'll bring some Canadian beer. Yeah, I'll do all that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that. So yeah, can't make PAX East, unfortunately, but I just wanted to definitely put that one out there. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Fuck off.
All right, should we roll with another audio question?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hi, all Gen Gamers. This is Mutagata553. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Being the huge RPG fan that I am, I was wondering what aspects of an RPG game are most important to you when playing an RPG. For example, things like replayability, battle systems, music, characters, settings, stories, difficulty, etc., etc., etc. Since the RPG genre casts such a large ranging net, I'm really interested in what you guys have to say. Thanks once again, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah, totally. Good question. And
Yeah, good question.
we definitely know your YouTube channel. I definitely always watch it. I know you're a big Dragon Quest fan, and you've got a really great YouTube show as well. So, I know you're a big RPG fan for sure. For myself, I will definitely say the music has got to be really good. I think everybody can say that. It's going to have great battle music because you know you're going to be in battle a lot. So you better like that theme.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important.
Damn you,
Obviously-
Persona 3.
Oh, yeah. Geez, eh? I like that song, though. I did like it, so that helped me out through that game a bit. But combat system has to be interesting, has to have something going on. As me and Pete were talking earlier, something that's not too simple. Not combat system, you just hit one button and you attack. I don't mind simplistic, but that's a little bit too much. I can go on and on, but I love a good world map. A lot of RPGs these days don't seem to go with the world map, especially Final Fantasy that always used to have a world map that all of a sudden doesn't have a world map anymore, which is kind of frustrating. But sorry, that's my quick 2 cents on that. What do you think, Pete?
Well, here's a good example, which I actually just used recently for my top 20 PS2 games. Final Fantasy 12 would be a good example for me in a game that does not need RPGs. Don't always need a strong story and great characters that keep you entertained and interested the whole game. But if a game has a great combat system, which is basically what Final Fantasy 12 kept me playing that game for, is I absolutely loved the gameplay in Final Fantasy 12. The story, I'll have to admit, I was lost. After a while, I was like, okay, I don't understand why we're going here or doing that, or who this person is, or what this, what that has to do with that. And the characters, half of them sucked, and half of them, basically only Fran and Balthier were the only two really interesting characters that I liked from that game. But I love the gameplay coming from Final Fantasy 11. I thought that the gameplay in 12 was absolutely amazing. It saved the game, the way you can customize your party. I just like to use that as a great example of an RPG that doesn't need a story to back it up. Another good example would be Final Fantasy 13. While it does have a good battle system, the thing that was the saving grace for me with that was the story and the characters. I thought that 13 had one of the most, some people absolutely hate the story and characters in 13, but I love it. I was totally into it. I was reading every single every time an opportunity came up for me to read the backstory on a character or a place or an event or something that just happened, I read everything. But that game, excellent story, everything, but everything else, like the gameplay in terms of exploration and obviously the linearity and stuff like that, was not that great. But the other elements, like I said, totally saved it. And another game like the Ys series, where Johnny, you might disagree with me on this, but I think some of the gameplay is maybe a little too simplistic at times.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what it does for the Ys series, the music is what keeps you in, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The music.
It came from an archaic time. It's more nostalgic for players now to play. Is it, bringing a lot of new stuff now? E7 attempted to do that.
And that's an example where the music is the saving, the thing that pulls the game together would be an example of Ys. So yeah, RPGs, it doesn't have to have good of everything, but if it has a couple of good elements, another example would be Golden Sun, the original on Game Boy Advance. That game kept me playing because the battles look so damn good and the music was so damn good. So it doesn't even always have to be about the gameplay. It can be aesthetically pleasing as well to keep you going. What about you, Jason?
Well, you guys pretty much nailed it on there. But for me personally, and this is coming from a guy who hasn't played a whole lot, I'm not as hardcore into RPGs as you guys, but for me personally, it's got to have spot-on battle mechanics. Like when you're in the game, it has to just wrap you in the battle. Because really, for me, when it comes down to it, that's what I'm playing it for. I want to be enthralled in that battle scene. You know what I mean? You spend a lot of time there. It has to be interesting, and the fighting, it just has to be spot on for me there. I want a really exciting battle scene. And then the music. Yeah. For me, those are the two main things. The rest can kind of just hit or miss, fall into place. Some RPGs, have some and then don't have the rest, or you know what I mean? It's kind of a mixed bag. So
for one game that I want to mention quick, I know Johnny will agree with me on this, but one game from this generation that, really hits everything kind of right on all aspects, from music, graphics, gameplay, characters, story, would be Lost Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
I was trying to think of some stupid one, but am I not?
No, I knew you were going to say that. I'm really happy you did. And we should really take a second to say, guys, anybody out there who wants has maybe liked Final Fantasy this generation, just go get Lost Odyssey.
Yeah, if you hated Final Fantasy 13, go play Lost Odyssey, and you'll be wondering why they didn't call that game Final Fantasy 13. Honestly.
Absolutely, yeah. Me and Pete have talked about this a lot, and it's just one that Yeah, it's so sad that it didn't do well, and it definitely deserves some attention to it. It's an excellent RPG. As Pete just said, great music, great battle system. I love the battle system. Bosses are fantastic, and it's one game that we can agree on that the storyline is excellent. There's some scenes in there that actually get you really choked up when you're playing it. So, and also, Pete, you read all the memories that I remember you talked about that. I see that's an aspect of the game that I kind of just skipped on, but I know a lot of people really got into reading the memories of the main character and got sucked into. See, there's so many things you can like about a game. Like I just like one aspect. I didn't like that. You did. So there you go. There's another one.
Gamester, what about you?
Nudity. Definitely a lot of nudity.
Yeah, there we go. He loves his hentai RPGs.
Big breasts women. No. I actually like the story a lot. I think story is very important. Jason, you mentioned music. I know you all mentioned music. It's really important to me. And battle mechanics is kind of repeating what you guys said. I think those are three. But to me, I think RPG is a good story that gets you engaged in the game. Is important to me personally. So, and nudity is always a plus too. So
Love it.
Hentai.
Where's Chun-Li?
Hi, cha.
Yatta!
Yep.
I still have a crush on her.
Dude, her thighs are banging.
Those are birth and hips.
They just keep getting bigger, eh? They just keep getting bigger.
Well, she's getting older,
But yeah, there's more weight down there going on.
Oh, good question.
Big
Good
booties.
question.
Good question. You guys want to read one of the questions? I'm going to tell what to do.
Don't tell me what to do, fool.
I like
Don't
telling
tell me what to do.
Pick one. Anyone.
Okay, I'll do what you say.
Okay, next question is from the forums and it's from Homicidal Monkey 1. His question is, what was the last game that kept you up until some ungodly hour without noticing how much time had passed? It's pretty easy for me. That would be StarCraft 2. I'm still playing that game every once in a while. Like I like to call it, it's a healthy addiction where I can easily go a few days without playing that game and suddenly jump back into it and be playing it for hours on end. Time just flies when you play StarCraft, I'll say that much. Totally love that game. Addictive, simple. What about you, Johnny?
Probably, as I say, it's funny, I played Uncharted, the first one, 2 sittings. And I finished the game. And my first sitting, I'm just like playing it. And I'm like, what time is this? Like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, what? Like, oh, geez, I'm like really into this. It's so funny. I went to sleep. I got up the next day. I made my tea. I just walked into the games room and started playing again. And I haven't done that for a while. So that's the addictiveness of Uncharted 1. And if the second one's as good as everybody's telling me, that's going to be good times. Awesome. What about you, John Gamester 81?
Outside of Mad Max for the NES, it's really tough.
Oh, yeah. That keeps all of us up late, right?
I couldn't put that shit down, man. For
Wonder
sure.
why I
For
haven't
real.
shot myself in the head.
Gameplay so deep.
I played Modern Warfare 1. Couldn't put that down when I first picked it up.
Yeah.
I haven't played the second one. I know you're going to tell me I haven't played the second one at all. I've been meaning to get into the second one. So that's my goal. Now that I have my 360 working again, I'll plan on picking it up. So Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty. Played that a lot. Jason.
Well, I know everyone's wanting some crazy game that's,
Battlefield.
yeah, you guys called it. It's true, you guys. I'm sorry.
We're taking you to the 360 online world now, Jason. It's going to be a whole new world that will open up to you.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Battlefield 2.
Yeah, I got it today. So yeah,
Man Live.
3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, very common when I started playing that game. So that would have to be the game that time flew by.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if Jason's sponsored by Battlefield 2.
I think we know.
Gets $20 every time you mention
I
this
think
game.
he is.
I thought we talked about not mentioning this.
It's going quite obvious now, isn't it?
Are you kidding me? With Bad Company 2? I mean, when I play Bad Company 2, it's like Bad
$20.
Company all over again. It's
$40.
really bad.
You just got another
$60.
$50.
You better write. Dude, you should just say like 100 times and then give that to Johnny so he can go to PAX East.
Done. I'm going.
I'm going to Disneyland.
Going to Disneyland.
That's fine.
That's a good question.
Good question. All right, on to the next.
Hey, what's up, all Gen Gamers? Metal Tiger 88 from Germany here. I just want to bring up 2 little questions. The first one is, what was the first console you ever got or you ever played a video game on? And the second question is, what is your favorite controller of all time for a console. And yeah, that's already about it. And keep on doing those great podcasts. I really enjoy them. And take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good question.
Awesome.
Yeah.
From Germany. Sweet.
We're getting international people. It's awesome.
That's how we roll.
It's definitely internationally known.
I'll throw mine out there real quick. Just real quick to get it out of the way. The Atari 2600 and the PS2 controller, PS3 controller / done.
Cool. My first system I ever played and ever had was a ColecoVision, and favorite controller for a system is the Apple Pippin controller because it's kind of unique because it has a trackball on it. It's pretty cool looking. So,
Yeah,
Alright.
that is a pretty cool looking controller.
yeah, it's just.
Do you have any games for that, Gamester?
I got like a program or so, but nothing like official games for it.
The
No.
games are hard to find in the goddamn system.
Yeah.
I guess I'd say my first system would be the ColecoVision, first system I played something on and owned. It was my dad's. And my favorite controller, I've kind of been debating this recently, but I'd have to go
Is it the
with
bar controller?
No.
Oh.
I'd have to go with the Xbox 360 controller. Only
Oh.
because it's I don't know, it just feels right, feels good. The only thing I don't like about it is the D-pad.
Yeah, the D-pad. Yeah.
The D-pad's pretty bad, but everything else is pretty nice about it. Closely tied with the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2 controller. But yeah, what about you, Jason?
First console I ever played a video game on is I have an original Atari Pong system from, it's like 77 or something like that. It was my dad's. Anyway, that would be the first console I ever played something on. And then my favorite controller, it's tough. There's a lot of really good ones out there. I love the 360 and I love the PS2.
The N64, a lot of people liked.
Yeah, a lot of people like that too. But
Keyboard
mine,
and mouse is an option too, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Well, for a shooter, most definitely keyboard and mouse. But for a controller, it's going to have to be the GameCube / Wavebird setup.
Oh, interesting one.
I really like that. It feels right. The buttons are laid out nice, and then the Wavebird, of course, brought in wireless capabilities, and I just think it's an all-around great controller for playing.
Nice.
Nice.
It's a good question. Yeah, lots of good stuff there.
Hey guys, my name is Ben. I'm a big fan of the show. I've just got one question really. I'm new to gaming. I played a few games on the PlayStation 1. I didn't really seriously get into games until late PS2 really, things like that. So I missed out on a lot of the stuff you guys talk about. That's really why I like the show. But the question I've got is about difficulty in games and how it's changed now and how they're much easier than they were back when you guys were playing. My question is, why did that happen? Why were those old school games so challenging? And why has it changed now? Was it a technological limitation that they had, or was it a choice? What's the reason for it? So, love the show. Keep it up. Thank you.
Wow, that's a good
Great
one.
question.
Good
That's
question.
a good question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember me and Gamester talking about that, but yeah, Pete, if you want to go in on that, go for it.
I mean, I'm sure you guys will have different opinions, but one I don't think you guys would bring up would be something like maybe the developers kind of want you to experience the full game. And if they make the game too hard these days, people give up too easily, and you'll never get to see the end of the game. That's just one of my takes on it. What about you guys?
I think the games back in the day, they weren't programmed to last as long, right?
Yeah.
So they made it harder so the replay value would be up there. Where now you play a game and you beat it in 10 hours, that's considered a really quick game. Where back in the NES days, Super Nintendo days, you could beat a game in a couple hours, if you knew what you were doing. So I think they made it intentionally really hard to just so you can pick it up again and play it again for replay value. That's my personal. That's my.
I like short games though. Don't you guys like short games that you can actually finish?
That's happened because there's so many games now. It's funny. My take now is that I like shorter, easier games because I only have the amount of time for that. I've done all the hard games in the past, truly, but I think also they've made games easier now to appeal to a more wider audience. Remember back in the olden days that there was more a hardcore niche audience playing games, which were usually the younger kids, where now everybody's playing them. Look at the Wii as a great example of a console meant for grandmothers and kind of all that generation that wouldn't play video games. And so they're not going to make games super difficult for Grandma Jones to go, fuck this, I can't do this game, slam the control down. Hell no, they want her to go and buy another game after she's finished that one. So it almost works out better that you finish a game and you're like, oh, I'm done. I need to buy another game. So, and I think back in the day, there wasn't as many games. So and nowadays they throw a lot of graphical punch at you and just try to snag you. You know,
what do you guys think of like say Donkey Kong Country or New Super Mario Brothers Wii, where the game is very challenging at times and it comes to the point where they just play the game for you? Do you think that's a good option or a bad? Like, if people are that bad that are playing the game where they seriously need to use the super guide at all, like, is this the game they should be playing? Like, what do you guys think of that? Do you know about the super guide, where basically if you fail a part in a level
does
too
it for
much,
you or something?
It plays the section for you?
I think that kind of defeats the purpose of a video game. A video game is supposed to offer a challenge so that you are playing it. You are that character, or you are whatever, some tank or whatever you are in the game. You should have some role of doing something. If you're not doing anything, it's just like that Kinect game. Remember that video I showed you guys?
I watched that. Yeah, that was fun.
For anybody out there, it's a video on YouTube. I forget the name of it, where some guy is playing one of the new racing games for the Kinect, and he videotaped himself just with his hands up, not moving, not doing anything, and the game was playing itself.
He came in like second place too. It was funny.
Yeah, he came second place. And for anybody who thinks the video is fake, watch it, because he does a video replay and he's never changes one frame of himself playing that game. And so that's a game that was quite literally playing itself. What was the point of that? It's almost insulting the player. How embarrassing. Imagine that you think you're really getting good at a game and then you find out that the game has been playing itself the whole time. That's just, what's the point? You got to do something.
Yeah, there would be no point.
Yeah. You need to do a choice. You have to have a choice and make a choice to, either A, you fail, or A, you do well. But I know, so I brought it up because Gamester was talking about it so many times, and I love it. And Halo is a great example of this, where you get shot a bit, you dodge around a corner, you get your health back. Mm-hmm. I know John has talked about that a lot.
A lot of every first-person shooter I played nowadays is Call of Duty is like that. It's...
Yeah, I've even gone back. You go back a little bit, and play some of the old retro ones. It's like that don't work like that. Boom. It's almost it's almost strange. You're like, oh shit, I've got health. Like,
it's like GoldenEye.
I'm gonna die here. I'm like, I'm ducking behind stuff, like waiting to recover. You're not recovering.
Yeah.
One other way to look at it, guys, too. Think about this. I kind of look at, to answer that question, how about flexibility? So back in the day, games weren't as flexible as they are today. Let me explain a little bit. Back in the day, you'd play something, and when you did something, either A or B happened, right? It was either on or off. You either passed the level or you died, right? Mm-hmm. Well, games today, if you do something, A, B, C, and D all are possible. Mm-hmm. So you have all these different avenues, so many different options. There's a lot more flexibility in the games now.
Yeah,
like Heavy Rain on PlayStation 3.
So that's why back in the day they may seem to be harder, because it was one or the choice. Other. You either died or you moved on. Today, you pass the level, you can go this way, that way, do this, perform that, all get to the same area. You can pick and choose your destiny pretty much. So that's one way I kind of look at it.
That's actually totally right, because that's also because game systems have become more powerful. We've gone away from just 2D to 3D, opening up a whole new, as you just said, possibility of possibilities.
Yep, technology has allowed us to have all this flexibility as well. And that's the reason why it's here.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great answer.
All right. Well, on with another.
All right, next question is from Guns N' Rose 3S. That's GUNSNROS 3S. Man, you guys have some weird names. It is, my question is, how much of your time do you spend on just playing video games? And can you keep an honest track of the hours you play in 1 week?
Wow.
What about you, Johnny?
I was going to say you first of all.
All right. I guess I'll go first. I kind of vary, honestly. There, people must think I sit around and I play like 10 hours of games a day, but there's times where I don't play any games for a couple of days, I just don't have...
couple of days. I love that. That's good. I only play 8 hours a day, goddammit.
But no, there's just times where I just don't feel like playing, or I'm just tired or whatever. But if I am playing, oh my God, forget it. If it's a game that I'm pretty addicted to and I want to play, it can be 5-6 hours a day. If it's an MMO like Final Fantasy 11, I don't even want to get into that. That could be dangerous. But just regular games, I'd say, let's just say maybe 20 hours a week on average, I'd say. That's about average. It really depends, say when I got Etrian Odyssey 3 on the DS, I played that game for like 7 hours on the first day and like 5 hours every day after. So it really depends on what games I'm playing. Like right now, this week, I'm going to be playing a lot of games, obviously, because I'm off from school. I got a whole bunch of new games for Christmas and stuff. So, now I'll probably be, much more than 20 hours a week, but it varies. What about you, Johnny?
You know what? It's all the flexibility of my time schedule. It's like, I think most of us can say we work 8-hour days. And so I work my 8-hour day. I come home, have dinner, and it's like, okay, I've got to do an episode of the show or something. So I do that. And, maybe that takes me 3 days. Like, okay, great example. I finished the Christmas special. I got it out there and I was like, oh, thank God. Now I got some time for me to do some gaming because that takes editing time. And I sat down. That's when I finished Uncharted. I had the time. I had a good couple of days. I'm doing some gaming. And so it varies in the schedule. And I'm like you, Pete. If I'm playing a game and I'm obsessed with it, I'm freaking doing it. And that's all I'm doing. And things can move to the side. I don't care. But it depends on the game. Like Halo Reach is doing that to me. And on a night, I'm like, after this podcast, I'll be doing that till 4 a.m. Easy. Oh, easy. So I'd say not as much as I'd like to because of the show kind of. If I didn't do the show, I'd have a lot more. I'd be playing games all the time like I used to do. Probably about 10 hours a week at present right now with my schedule. Yeah. What about you, Gamester?
I'm kind of the same boat with you, Johnny. I have 4 channels to juggle around.
Well, you're the crazy man. We've always said that.
Plus, I travel a lot for work, so that makes a difference too, because I'm not able to necessarily play online. I could bring my PSP with me or my DS. I do that every once in a while, or my Wiz, but probably around 10 hours a week on a good, 15 on a good week is usually what I put into some gaming. I also have a wife I need to take care of and can't forget about, and she takes priority over all that. So happy wife is a happy life. I learned that. So how about you, Jason?
Well, to start off with saying I have never kept track of the time I've played. Ever.
Oh, it's hard to. We're guesstimating here, for sure.
Since the beginning of time, I just have never really thought about it. For me, when it comes to gaming, I just put in the time that it requires. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm into the game, I'm putting the time in, I'm going through it. I've never really thought about time. But if I had to break it down, and it's so hard with working around the work schedule. But between 10 to 20 hours is a good window there. On a great week, 20. On a not so great, maybe 10.
God, in the days when I wasn't working, I powered through games.
Oh yeah, you just ball to the wall all through them.
I remember when Xenosaga came out, an RPG series on the PS2. I finished that game in 3 days. Can you believe that, Pete? I finished it in 3 days.
That's a pretty lengthy game.
That's a solid, no shower, no food.
Oh, 75% it was like you're watching a movie, though.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of movie elements to it, but that's the funny thing. I just sat for 3 days, and that's all I did.
There was a lot of bags of chips and drink all over the place.
Well, yeah, half the game was a cinema, so it was fine. I loved the game, but not the second. Anyways,
cool.
Good question.
Good question.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I've been a huge fan of all of you guys, both on your YouTube channels and on this podcast, and I just wanted to say, I've loved all the stuff that you guys have been doing up to this point. So on to my question. All of you guys have these really huge, massive video game collections. But I was wondering, even with these, really big, expansive collections and everything like that, what is your video game collecting white whale? What is the item that you have always wanted, but for whatever reason, it was too expensive, it was too rare, and you just couldn't get it? What's the one thing that you've wanted to have for your collection but couldn't get? Okay, guys, that's my question. Take it easy.
I know what my white whale is.
I see. White whale. I was loving it.
Jason, you said your white whale. Is that?
Yeah.
Is there something going on?
What?
Jason.
Wait, what?
You said you know what your white whale is, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean he's moving over to your place, or what's going on
with this?
Oh shit! The whale's not under my bed. Where the fuck did he go?
Oh, it's too easy. Pete dodged out of the whole whale thing.
Why did you guys? You're not putting me on the spot.
I think Pete killed the whale. He's trying to hide the evidence. It's so easy.
I don't know. I'll have to go look in my pool. I mean, I do have a big pool back there.
Uh-oh.
What happened, Pete? Like, what did this take off? And you know what? He was under your bed. You're playing Final Fantasy 14, doing a stream of that, and
Probably. You probably got bored of watching me play that shit and took off.
Fuck this shit.
All right, let's answer the question. What was the question again? Your white whale.
Yeah, like I guess something in your collection.
Your holy grail that you would like to get.
Yeah,
Pretty
that
much.
you
very
haven't or
fun.
can't get. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. One thing I've always wanted and I've never been able to find because it's like uber rare is a Panasonic M2 system. Are you guys familiar with this?
Is that wait? Hold on. Is that basically the successor to the 3DO?
Yes. Successor to the
Wasn't one of those on eBay recently?
Possibly, and they sell for thousands.
They're really.
I saw one at Digital Press when I was there. They had it on display, which is pretty cool. It wasn't for sale, but it would be really cool to have. Didn't sell very well. Very rare because of that, but that'd be an awesome piece to have in my collection. That's my answer. So
these are things. Sorry, this is like the white whale that we still don't own.
Right.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll answer last.
I guess I'll go because I'll give you some time to think because I just can't limit it to one. For a long time, I really wanted Steel Battalion because think about this. A brand new video game, even by today's standards, even forget Rock Band and all that crap, but $250 for a game that, was coming out, that was a lot. So I'm glad I have that. A long time, I also really wanted Panzer Dragoon Saga. So glad I put down the money for that. Totally worth it. But when it comes to games that I really want but don't have, there's really, I guess you could say, three answers. One, it's not terribly rare, not terribly expensive, but it's still a game that I've been really after for a while, and Johnny's trying to convince me otherwise that it's not worth it, would be Snatcher for the Sega CD.
Well, I didn't say it's not worth it. I just think, it's a lot of money for what it is. It's up to you, Pete. It's whatever it's worth to you, right?
I just have a feeling I'm going to buy this game and I'm going to be just let down almost, I don't know.
I'm not going to get into the whole
really
thing
interests
right
me,
now,
but it's like, it's a game that interests me where it's like I really want to play it, but it's like, is it going to be worth $150 for it? But
as a collectible piece, it is. As a collectible piece, it is. As a game on its own, it doesn't hold up to today. I don't care what anybody says. You go back and play Snatcher again. I tried to play Snatcher again from back in the day, and it's very slow. It's a very slow game. Is it a bad game? No, but it's a game from a different time. Is it a classic? Absolutely.
Well, what makes it so rare? I mean, why is it so expensive?
So rare,
it's just in
but
demand.
yeah, it's expensive. Somebody wants it. Yeah.
Let's see. Another game would be on the new one. It's Iron Soldier 3, the retail edition, not the demo version. This is a game I could be getting the full story wrong here, but it was basically released and then immediately recalled. So there's very, very few actual copies of this game out there with a retail box. There's some copies out there as well that are like demos that were released after the retail versions were recalled, and it's just a disc that says like not for resale on it or something. I forget the exact story behind it, but it's an extremely rare game. The Nuon library is very limited in its game library, so that's one that I'd really love to have. It very rarely shows up on eBay. But probably my definitive answer, and this might be cheating a little bit, but it would be the Japanese Virtual Boy collection, the Japanese exclusive games that never made it to the United States. The reason being is because these games, there's a few extreme rarities out there, and almost all the games cost anywhere between $200 to $800 each. The cheaper ones being there's like in Yoshike, so I don't know, some Japanese title with like Haunted House on the cover. That one's about $100. But then the Mobile Suit Gundam game is about $300 to $400. The Virtual Bowling game, being the most rare and expensive of them all, can cap out around $800 or more for a complete copy. Now, I've been wanting a complete Virtual Boy collection for a very long time. I just need 3D Tetris for the US collection and I'll be done. But the Japanese library, holy crap. If I ever want to go for that, I mean, I'll have to do some serious thinking because it's going to cost literally thousands of dollars. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but it would be something that I would really love to have. What about you, Jason?
Well, I've always wanted to get a hold of these, and you know what? They're kind of available. They come up on eBay every so often, depending on which one they are. But I really want to get the display video game Cosaics, where they had the games in like GameStop. You could play demos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they had them in Target, they had them in Best Buy. You know what I mean, from back in the day. I just really want to get a hold of those, put them in the game room. The GameCube, Super NES, Xbox, PS1, PS2. You know, the official displays.
Kiosk.
Yeah,
kiosk displays. Yeah.
Yeah. I just really, really want to get a hold of those.
The only problem with them is they're like very cool to look. The thing is, they take up a lot of space, but when you think about it, all it is just the system, like with a monitor to play the games on, which is awesome. But if you're a person where you're cramped for space, like it's just not logical to, you know, for me to put one of those in here, it would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going to take up that amount of room, I'd rather just, you know, put an arcade machine in there or something, you know. Whereas if it was, say, a kiosk for a GameCube, you know, with a GameCube logo and a sign and a light up display and stuff like that is awesome. But I could just hook up my GameCube to my TV, you know. So if you have the room, definitely those things are pretty awesome to have.
Yeah, I don't care about the room at all.
I saw a cool one for the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, those ones are awesome.
Yeah, see, there's all sorts of cool
Yeah.
ones. I would just love to have, you know, as many as I can get and have just a dedicated room. I'm serious about this. I mean, this is coming from a guy who, I mean, I love arcade games. I don't mind that they're big and heavy, and yeah, I know it is just a console and a TV and a sign, but I want that, and I want to just fill a room full of them. It's just, I don't know, walk in there and they're all lit up. Something about it. I've always wanted them. I don't have any of them, but something about it. Mm-hmm.
Johnny?
Okay, it's my turn. So rarest white whale that isn't actually a real whale. For me, it would have to be, I had to put a lot of thought into it. Would have to be Darius Alpha. Have you guys ever heard of this?
Is that game on the Super Graphics?
It is compatible with the Super Graphics. It's one of the rarest games for the PC Engine. And to go and get it, to find it, first of all, you never see it on eBay. But one a few years ago went for $1,500 easily. It's the rarest game. What makes it so rare is that you had. I talked about it in my Super Graphics review a long time ago, but you had to mail in Japan coupons to the publisher, and they would send you this copy of the game, a very limited copy of which was Darius Alpha. But it's become hardcore, the most collectible PC Engine game of all time. And people are dying to get it. It's just Darius. It's not really doing anything that amazing. It's just another Darius game, which is a good thing. Is it worth $1,500? Well, I guess to the person who really wants the game, sure it is. But I think it came out in 1990, if I remember back. But yeah, very rare. I think it's rarity. And what it is just made it so nuts for collectors.
Do you ever see yourself bidding on that?
If I saw it, I'd be highly fascinated by what it's going for, and I'd be watching it very closely. But would I drop my own money, $1,500 in the game? I can't say I would. No, seriously, there's better things I can invest my money into.
There's a time where you got to draw a line. Yeah, for sure.
There is, and now the thing is it's also to do with collecting in general. If it's something emotional, something like when I was trying to think of my answer, I was thinking about all these. To be honest with you, I kind of own everything that I've wanted to own. Now, I don't own a lot of super rare stuff, but I own everything that's like I personally wanted to own as a collector. Like everything that I loved, I went out and spent the money to get. And I never paid outrageous amounts. I paid a couple $100 for a game here and there.
Not like anybody out there is crazy enough to pay like $3,000 for, say, Elemental Gearbolt.
Yeah,
edition, who the hell would do that?
Yeah, nobody we know. Nobody we know. But I think the most I ever spent on a game was I spent $200 on a mint copy of Dragon Warrior 2. It was the only one I was missing from the collection. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And back in that's in the old days of eBay too. So prices were a little bit more inflated. I'm sure I could get it for a little bit cheaper now, but I didn't care. I still got it as mint. I'm happy. Who cares? So there's my answer.
Excellent. It's the time of the podcast where we get into Love Talk featuring Johnny and Millennium. Johnny, we have a serious question for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Gamester. I'm as ready as I can be.
This question is from Mr. Technosqueak. The question is, I usually hang out with a certain group of people, like the same people I've known pretty much my whole life. I've been to parties and whatnot and met new people, but not to be mean or hateful, because I'm not like that. But most of the women there, they are party girls, which I believe you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyways, what is a good way to meet new women that isn't like that? Johnny, to you.
Interesting. So he's just saying here, but most of the women at these parties that he's going to are party girls, meaning that they're drunk, into having a good time. Yeah, you want to stay away from them. You'll never have a good time with them at all. Absolutely not a bit. But it's interesting. I think actually what he's asking is where's a good place to meet girls that are just not, they're being stereotypically funny here as this is a drunk party girl. Where's a good place to meet them? I think people have been asking that question for a very long time. What's a good place to meet women? It's not going down to the local library and grabbing a book and she grabs a book as well and you're like, oh, I didn't know you read that. That's a kind of creepy way. You'll never meet anybody that way. That's not very good. I think there's a lot of places, if you're part of a club, and that isn't, I'm not talking the chess club or something like that. I'm not saying there's not any hot girls at the chess club, but just join a club in general. Join something, put yourself into something that maybe you normally wouldn't do. And personally, this is nothing that I would do, but it does work for you. Join the club if nothing else is working for you. That's what I'm going to say. Join something. Join a photography club or something like that. That's a good way to get you out there. That way, you get to meet people, women on a mutual kind of term. You can talk about, cameras and taking pictures of small dogs. I don't know. But another really good place to meet women is at work. It's actually funny. It's the last two girls I've gone out with I met at work. It was just really kind of unusual. But and that's only because you're there the most. You're going to meet women at the place that you're at the most. So maybe you go to a local diner and hang out all the time. Maybe you might meet one of the local girls there. Maybe the waitress. Maybe just somebody's friend who just happens to come in. But change your environment. That's the number one thing you need to do is definitely change your environment. Put yourself in places that you wouldn't normally be, but in a way that, you're going to have a mutual way to meet somebody. And it gives you another excuse to talk about something else. Not, as I say, be in the library or whatever and going, oh, I didn't know you liked that book. That'll never work. That's just creepy. That'll never ever work for you. So I've decided to answer that one legitimately. I hope that works. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of what I just said?
From my past experiences, I've always found like dog parks are a great place to meet. No, seriously.
Well,
seriously.
no, to meet women, not dogs.
Picking up some shit.
Damn. No.
Yeah.
But if you have a dog or a puppy or something like that, and you bring it to a dog park,
wait, Gamester, really?
I'm serious.
He's picking up bitches.
I'm serious. Picking up bitches. It's worked for me in the past. Before I was married, I used to go with my dog, go, talk to ladies, say, oh, that's they'd always come up to you, oh, isn't that dog cute? And they're like, yeah, and then you just start talking.
You are kidding me.
I'm serious.
I just can't believe that because that to me is so stereotypical. Right? Like, oh, what a nice dog you have. Oh, how long
like you see it in a movie or something,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe it's my good looks. I don't know. But maybe,
wait. So, Gamester, honestly, did you ever you actually met and dated a woman from meeting her dog?
Well, yeah, we hung out, And
so there we go. Exactly. Yeah, you were the friend category. He loves my dog.
No, I mean, just put it this way, we were more than there were situations we'd do that were more than what friends would do.
Did you get the dog involved?
No, it's disgusting.
Wait.
We did doggy style, though.
Disgusting. It's love.
Ain't that a bitch?
Here's a question for you, Games. I don't know if it's too personal, but how did you meet your current wife?
She was at the corner of Van Buren. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, that's brutal.
I'm just joking.
My.
Laura, she knows I love her. She knows I love her. So no, we actually met through a mutual friend. Grew up in the Seattle area and grew up with my friend out there through elementary school I've known, and she actually lives down here in Phoenix, and they work together. So I think that's a good way to meet people too, is through friends.
Wait, Jason, what about you for the girl that you're seeing? Just from the point of view of where you can meet a potential person.
Yeah, it was through work.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good way to meet people.
Definitely. I think it's going to be around, and I think you nailed it there. Change your environment or put yourself in an environment where you're out there. You got to be out there because, as much as we all like to play games and be gamers and, if you're not out there doing something, You're just going to sit there and be with yourself. So,
Yeah.
Techno Squeak, if you're out there, you want to meet somebody, Johnny nailed it. You got to go out. You got to get outside. You got to go out there.
And you know, the tough one is, you know, the thing is when I've been on plenty of fish in the past, the one thing I hate is when girls are like, oh, I like to go skydiving and I like to go mountain climbing. It's like, well, okay, I don't really feel like doing any of that. I think a lot of girls say they like doing that kinds of stuff, and they're just saying that because they think guys like to do all that stuff or something. But don't think you have to go rock climbing to meet somebody, because I don't like to do that, okay? I got no interest in doing that. You know, it's so funny. I'd read these things in Plenty of Fish. Some girl will be like, I love going mountain biking every day and climbing mountains and skydiving and all this. You know, my reaction was, why don't you give me a call when you get back from doing all that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, after you tired yourself out, you want to relax, give me a shout.
Because I don't know, jumping out of no plane with a parachute attached to my back sounds like a fun time. I'd rather eat my own shit.
Yeah, I am eating my own shit right now.
Live to see another day. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
Totally.
parachute don't work. Mm-hmm.
Pete, where did you meet the whale from?
How did I meet the whale?
Well, I think he was over.
Well, he
mine,
originated at your house, yeah.
and then he
kind of
was
just
gone.
one day, you know, I kind of just heard something under the bed, little flopping around going on.
Like that's the whale. Is I'm on top of the whale here. What happened? And now the whale is gone. How easy that is.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Where he'll go next
right?
is it's unknown where he'll be next.
I thought it was Jason's.
No, we don't know. It's just kind of like Clue.
You know
Where's
what?
the whale?
When the sun comes up tomorrow, I'm going to have to go look in the pool and see if he's in there. I don't know.
Here's a good tie-in. How about we wait and see what he posts on his Facebook page?
Hey.
Because the whale is now on Facebook. So if you go on Facebook and you search All Gen Gamers Whale, he will come up. He's already at like 150 plus friends. So he's quite
He deserves
popular.
more. The
Yeah.
whale is more interesting than all of us put together.
Yeah, go friend that whale.
Yeah. Go friend the whale.
Hug
The
a
happy
friend. Give a
All
kiss.
Gen Gamers whale. Look that up.
Slap a whale.
What about Robot Cat? I think that last encore performance from the last show deserves a Facebook page. I don't know.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was.
It was brilliant. I'll say that. It was good. Very good.
He'll be posting when his new album's coming out. We'll see.
Hey, all I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say it all, but see, there's some things that happen over here. You know, I mean, look, Robot Cat got a cameo song. I'm just saying. I got a lot of toys over here for
As a pardon?
people to play with.
So one thing we've talked about, guys, and I know Johnny has his Love Talk segment, which I think is a big hit, and we've always talked about having our own segments of the podcast, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something I kind of came up with, I think it'd be kind of fun, is something called Gaming Piece Theater, where I would have a small segment in the podcast where I would talk about not only systems, maybe games, something going on in the gaming world, history that maybe not many people knew about. It was kind of unique and rare, right?
Love it.
Yeah,
So-
totally.
So Johnny, why don't you bring me in?
Well, I'll bring you in, all right. Welcome to the first episode of Gaming Piece Theater with Gamester81. Gamester, what piece of gaming history are you giving us today?
Today, we're going to take a time travel back 15 years. And let's see if you guys can guess this. It's going to be a system. We're going to talk about a system. It was released by Bandai and Apple. They actually combined together. Pete, I know you know what the system is. Any
I'll
guesses,
keep
guys?
quiet.
Any guesses what the system is?
I know what it is.
All right. We kind of mentioned it earlier in the podcast with the controller. This is the Bandai Apple Pippin, which is interesting because the system it's sold less than 42,000 units. So it's pretty rare. There's actually two types. It was released, it was actually marketed by Bandai. Apple kind of combined forces. And a lot of people didn't realize that Apple did have a system. And Bandai, this isn't the first time Bandai got into making video games. They made the Bandai, there's a Pong for Bandai. You have obviously the Wonder Swan, which came out a little bit later. So Bandai was into systems as it was, or making games, but they decided to team up with Apple. And they made this thing called the Pippin. And it's named the Pippin, I guess, is an apple of some sort. So they named it after
Oh, and I didn't think of that.
yeah. So it came out in 1995 in Japan. It was actually a white model. It's called the Atmark Player. And it's a little bit more common than the ones that you see that were released later in 1986. And it's At-World Player. So there's two different versions. The At-World is black, available in North America. And you get the Atmark released in Japan in 1985. Most of the games are what they call edutainment games, which are like education games that, not very popular. That's why it didn't do very well. And the main reason this thing failed was they marketed it more as a computer and a learning system than an actual game console. So it ran off the OS System 7 operating system for Apple, and it had a lot of potential. It had online capabilities. The back of the unit actually looks a lot like, it's more like built like a computer, and that's kind of where Apple got involved. But a very interesting system. One today, if you were to find an at-world player, gosh, probably cost you maybe $400 or $500. Pete kind of mentioned before, earlier in the podcast, the games themselves are even harder to find than sometimes the system to find.
Yeah.
So didn't do very well. I mean, keep in mind the Pippin came out during the time in 1995. You had the Nintendo 64, you had the PlayStation, you had the Sega Saturn, and it cost $599 US dollars
very
when
expensive.
it came out.
Oh my god.
Very expensive. And back in like 15 years ago, $600 is, I don't know what that is as far as, today. It was actually rated on PC World Magazine as the 25th worst tech product of the year for 2006, in 2006 actually, for 1995. So didn't do very well. Now, will Apple get back into the gaming market with the iPad and iPod? They're making a case for themselves here, but I don't think it was marketed in Europe at all. To my knowledge. Pete, do you know? No?
I think it was. I was going to ask you actually, what countries was it released in? It was just Japan and the U.S., I guess.
Yeah,
or just
if it was in Europe, it was even more limited than here in the States. But definitely an interesting piece to have to the collection. I own one. I found one a couple years back. I do like the controller. It kind of looks. It's really unique looking. It's hard to explain over the podcast, but it's kind of, it just looks like almost like a 3DO, front loading 3DO is what it looks like.
I really like the design of it though, but what I was going to say was, isn't it really interesting how all these systems back then that were marketed more for like edutainment, like the Memorex Vis and the CDI, they all fail, and they totally fail. So yeah, that's a lesson learned. Don't make edutainment systems unless you're Leapster and VTech, then you do pretty well. But
yeah. So only 42,000 were ever made, and that's between both Japan and both versions. I'd say maybe a quarter of those are the at world, and the other rest are at mark. So something to keep in mind when you're looking to collect. But we'll have a forum post on the forum, so if you guys want to know more about any particular system, game, or any little bit about gaming history, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you.
And send in requests for Gamester as well. There's certain things you want them to talk about. Request it.
Yes.
Thank you, Gamester, for another Gaming Piece Theater.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So this concludes episode 22 of All Gen Gamers. It's been great talking to you guys, and thank you for tuning in. I do want to remind you guys, go on to our forums, peacegameroomforum.com. You'll see a link to All Gen Gamers. You can continue asking questions. Please send us the audio questions. Pete, remind us what the email address is to send those questions into.
contact@allgengamers.com. And if you ever forget where anything is, just go to allgengamers.com, where we also tied in our Facebook account on there now as well. So if you're one of our friends, you might show up on our homepage. And don't forget to search All Gen Gamers on Facebook, like us so that you can get our little updates on there.
Yep.
And also don't forget about our contests, which post a video response it has to be on our Facebook page to be eligible. And you may just win our copy of Endless Ocean, which will be signed by all of us. Don't forget to leave us reviews on iTunes. We definitely do appreciate that. We're up to like 150 ratings or whatever, which is awesome.
That's great.
We read all the reviews that you guys leave us on there.
All right, guys.
It's been fun.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening to us rant and rave about video games for 2.5 motherfucking hours, because this is a long podcast.
Peace.
Peace out. Peace to you, mother.
Late.
Bye-bye.
Get editing, Jason.